Today we're going to do something a little different, and we're going to compare three products. I have here regular Hot Pockets pepperoni, Great Value knockoff brand pepperoni, and Totino's pizza stuffers, and we're going to see which one is the best. Which one do you want to spend your money on? Now, I've been getting a little disappointed in Hot Pocket recently, but I'm going to come at this with an open mind and see which one of these I truly like. I've never had the Great Value ones before. I've had the pizza stuffers before. I do kind of like those. But again, I want to just clear my mind and go individually one by one and then compare the three. So we're going to start with pepperoni pizza Hot Pockets right here, standard pepperoni pizza Hot Pockets. Although it is important to note, this is the garlic buttery crust one, and there are actually different crusts. I don't remember what the other crust is. I think it's just like crispy. But this is what I would consider the standard Hot Pocket, the garlic buttery crust pepperoni pizza. And you probably know the instructions already, but I'll go off them because these all three have different instructions, which is also an interesting thing. The Hot Pocket has its signature Hot Pocket sleeve right here, which makes it a little bit more interesting than the other ones. So you have to put it in the sleeve, microwave it for 1 minute and 50 seconds, depending on the wattage of your microwave, or 2 sandwiches for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So pretty simple, but it does have the standard Hot Pocket pocket, which is supposed to make it crispier. And it makes it a nice little thing. If you've never done this with your Hot Pockets because you never noticed, or you just don't eat Hot Pockets, you can just take this thing, flip it like that, put the tab in here, and now it's a little holder. Put your Hot Pocket in here, and bam, you just eat it like that. And then it even has a little tab here, which you pull, which brings the thing down, so when you're at the end, you get that. So it's a nice thing for the Hot Pocket to do that, but we're going to start here with the Hot Pocket. I'm going to take a bite, and I'll kind of review it individually, and then at the end, I'll compare all three. Okay, I've eaten about half the Hot Pocket here, but I generally already know how I feel about Hot Pockets. There's something that was kind of a staple of mine for a long time. I don't get them too much anymore, but I still do get them on occasion because sometimes it is nice to just throw this into the microwave if you're craving pizza, but you don't want to like order pizza and you don't want to cook a whole frozen pizza. Not a bad alternative. There's likes and dislikes. I think the biggest problem of the Hot Pocket is in fact the crust, which is the thing they tried to work on the most. It does work. It does make the crust crispy. But it just still lacks any real taste. Even though it says it's garlic buttery crust, I don't get that. I don't get buttery. I get a hint of garlic, but it's not enough. I actually do like the pepperonis in here, though. The pepperonis are they're fairly thick sliced, and they're good chunks of pepperoni. They're not, it's not skimping out on the pepperoni. What it is skimping out a bit on is the cheese. There's not much cheese in here. It's more like sauce and pepperoni with a little bit of cheese every once in a while. Not bad, not good. It's middle of the road. But now we're going to compare it to some alternatives, including Totino's pizza stuffers, which are interesting in that, one, they come 2 to a bag, so they expect you to eat 2 no matter what. Now, it's kind of, Hot Pockets are kind of like that because they come 2 to a box, but they're individually wrapped. These are two to a bag, and you get 4 bags of 2, which is just, an interesting way to do it. But if you want one pizza stuffer, you're kind of out of luck. You really have to make both because otherwise the other one, you can't put it back in the freezer. You could put it in a Ziploc bag or something, but it's a lot of hassle. Now, these are also different instructions. You just you take these out, put them on the plate, microwave them, that's it. There's nothing else to it. You flip them over, but there's no pocket, there's no sleeve. It's just straight up microwave on a plate. So I've got one ready here that I microwaved individually. I put the other one, I did actually, in fact, put the other one in a bag to put it back. But I think that kind of sucks that you have to do that. So let's try this one. It's a little bit smaller, form factor wise. Let me get one of these frozen Hot Pockets out of here. There you go. You can see the size difference. It's a little bit smaller, not that much smaller. And again, it's 2 to a bag, so not too much of a difference in terms of that. So let's just go ahead and eat it. And it is a different form factor because this is more like a hand pie. It's got crispy edges like this, like somebody formed a hand pie instead of the typical shape of a Hot Pocket. But let's go ahead and eat these Totino pizza stuffers. Well, I've eaten half. Well, I want to say half. I've really eaten most of this Totino's pizza stuffer, but I wanted to keep the rest just to show you what it's kind of like. Because again, there's highlights and there's real lowlights with this one. If we check this out here, this is kind of hard to tell, but this edge right here is so much all bread, and it's hard. It gets hardened in the microwave, so it's kind of like that whole strip is almost worthless. Like, I don't even want to eat it because it's just kind of tasteless breading, which is unfortunate. But the middle, the actual meat of it is really good. Again, there's problems here, but I think the reason I like it so much is because the sauce has a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick to it. It's not spicy, I wouldn't say, but it has a little bit of that pepperoni spice, which is interesting because the actual pepperonis are a weakness on it as far as I'm concerned. I think the Hot Pocket pepperonis were a lot better. Here you get the kind of little, like julienne, they're squared pepperonis, if you can see that, and then the other low light, which I cooked this, and you know, the time it said, and it's hot and everything, but if you can kind of see there's bits of cheese there that are squared. They haven't really melted quite as they should for cheese, which is a little bit weird. The cheese is not melting in the microwave is not what I would have expected. It tastes fine, but it's a little bit just questionable. But again, the taste is good. I just think the pepperoni is lacking and that outside bread kind of sucks. So highlights and lowlights, but I'll tell you which one is better after I go ahead and try the Great Value one, which has the most interesting, I'm gonna wipe my hands real quick. The most interesting packaging of them all. This is what it comes in, just like that. It comes in this little thing here, and you microwave it in the package. The instructions are to open one end of wrap, place the product in the microwave, and microwave for 1 minute and 45 seconds to 2 minutes. Bada bing, here's when I microwaved. It's in there. So this wrap, you can kind of see, I'm pretty sure it's made to crisp the sandwich by itself because you microwave it in the wrap. It's got that little pattern, that kind of like foil stuff that you can feel that will make the Hot Pocket, I guess you'd call it. What do they call theirs? Pepperoni and cheese filled sandwich. It'll make those a little bit crispier. So interesting instructions. Not sure quite how it turned out. It seems fairly crispy, not bad. I've never had the Great Value one. I'm kind of curious because, you know, Great Value can be a real highlight and a real low light sometimes. It really depends, but it is cheaper than the Hot Pockets. I'll get to the prices when I do the free comparison, but it is the cheapest of the bunch. So let's go ahead and take a bite and see what it tastes like. Well, this might highlight some of my problems with the Great Value filled sandwiches. If you take a look at that, there's no pepperoni here. It's all sauce. It's very weird that these are pepperoni and cheese filled sandwiches. This is the most deceptive cover of them all because there's almost no pepperoni in here. It's literally almost all sauce and not even much cheese either, which, you know, I expect something them to cheap out for Great Value, but it's really bad, which is unfortunate because I actually like the crust. I think the crust of this one is in fact the best one. If Hot Pockets would steal this crust, that would be nice. I actually like this crust. It's flaky. It kind of breaks apart a little better, but not as... When you eat a Hot Pocket, it kind of flakes apart in a bad way, and it kind of makes a mess. This is nice. This is not bad. Hot Pockets steal this idea, and you could be the ultimate sandwich. But let's get into the comparison. Where do I want to start? I think of the three, the one I would prefer the most is probably the Totino's pizza stuffers. I think they have the best taste. But again, they're all up and down. I mean, the Great Value is out of the contest because it's terrible. When you compare the Hot Pocket with the pizza stuffers, things get a little bit different. Now let's look at the value because that's a big thing for me. I wrote it down here. We've got Hot Pockets for $6.48 for the 5-pack that I got, or $2.98 for the standard 2-pack. Now that compares to the Great Value's $1.98 for the standard 2-pack. Of course, Hot Pockets used to be $1.98 before, you know, everything got crazy, but now they're $2.98. But Hot Pockets at $1.98, it's not worth it no matter what. You got to step up. Now, the Totino's pizza stuffers, I didn't see the small packages at the store, but apparently they do have small packages for $4.28, which will get you 2 packs of 2. So essentially you're getting 4 in there. And the big package that I got right here is $7.18, and that's for 4 packs of 2. So the big package is definitely a better value. But if you compare the price, it's kind of difficult because a 2-pack of Hot Pockets, should that be compared to a 2-pack of 2 of the pizza stuffers? It's a little bit of kind of a hard thing to equate value-wise in terms of size because of the way the pizza stuffers are, and you get 2 of them, and 2 of them is definitely bigger than one Hot Pocket, but it's not quite half size either. So it doesn't exactly work out math-wise. I think in terms of value, they're fairly similar based on what you're going to pay. So if you're going to get Hot Pockets or Totino's pizza stuffers, it's the value, you know, ratio is pretty much similar, which means that I'm going to have to say that Totino's pizza stuffers wins this contest by a little bit, specifically because I like their sauce a lot. But I think that Hot Pockets as a classic option is fine, and I know a lot of people like Hot Pockets, and keep buying them if you like them. there's not really a revelation here, unfortunately. I wish there was. I wish I could say, hey, Great Value is the best, you know, everybody save your money and buy the Great Value, but I can't do that. So I think if you want to stick with Hot Pockets, if that's something you buy a lot, you know, go ahead. But I think giving the Totino's Pizza Stuffers a try would be a good idea. They are fairly good. I just really hate the way that this top crust right here goes. If you're somebody who, you know, I don't know, maybe you're somebody who likes crust, then you might like it, but I'm somebody who tries to avoid crust. Like when I eat my Pop-Tarts, I'm taking off the edges and throwing them in the trash because I don't want that. I just want the, you know, the good stuff. Take me straight to the good stuff. Don't give me so much crust on my Hot Pockets or my pot pies. I was gonna say pot pies. I don't know why. I think what we really need is more competitors to come into this space. That'd be nice. Second of all, we need more meat pies in the frozen food area because there really isn't many. You basically got pot pies and you got these kind of like pizza Hot Pockets, but we don't have any kind of more European pies like minced meat pies and like beef pies and things like that. That would be nice. I would like to see somebody bring that stuff in. There's one company that's doing it, Boomerang, like Australian ones, but they're not that good. So it's unfortunate, but you know, the takeaway from this video, if you've, you know, kept up with my rambling, is that I think Totino's Pizza Stuffers, in terms of your pizza pockets, is the best bet. But Hot Pockets are perfectly fine and not a bad deal for what you get. But avoid the Great Value because it's terrible. So that's this video. I'm done now, and I will see you all next time.